All right, good morning. Very early in the morning here, patrons. It's 4:25, um, 4:25 a.m. in the morning. More like 5:25. I keep looking at the time different here. Um, I want to talk to you today about the two sources of supply um, for moral, and metaphysical content of the New Testament, if I can use those terms and be pure. Um, we know that almost every single thing after 190 AD all reeks with Gnosticism, and that's the problem we're having today. Is that many of our people do not realize that much of the Christian theology that they have received comes from Gnosticism. They want you to believe that Yah is at war with himself, law versus grace. uh, and, and, and I can continue to keep going on and on and on and on. However, there are only really truly uh, two theories that are at battle and at play against each other. Only two. Okay? All right. It's either the law, which consists of laws, statutes, commandments, precepts. Okay? Um, and all of it comes from the precedents of the Hebrew scriptures. All right? Of the Hebrew scriptures. And that's why I would recommend that rather you spend a lot of time reading things from the English perspective, and let me show you what I'm talking about here for a second. Let me get these scriptures, because I have plenty of Bibles that I usually go from. That's why you often hear us quote the commandments. Have our young men quote the commandments from the scriptures version of the Bible. Now, I use this one more than anything. Let me rephrase that. I used the King James, but then I used that one to make sure I continue to keep the Hebrew perspective. Everybody's familiar with the keyword study Bible that I use. And I also, because it's a better modern day translation, have been using the New Revised Standard Version. Okay? But when you look at what's going on, and you see theologians as well as unstudied family members, you can't even put them in there because they're not even using an active mind or an active conscience. Okay? You're going to find out that the majority of people who have issue with you are those who rely mostly on their traditions and their opinions about the scripture. So you got two precedents that people are going to come from, and let me reiterate that real quick. Okay? You've got either the law, which consists of the law, statutes, commandments, and the precepts, and the precedents of the Hebrew scriptures. All right? Or you got number two, human reasoning, based on a mixture of philosophy and Christian traditions. All right? And this is the reason why the Apostle Saul had already foresaw this in Colossians 2:8, when he told us to beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men, after the rudiments of the world, not after Christ. Because ever since 190 AD, when the Europeans, our European counterparts, came and actually took our scriptures, they infused Christian theology in there, and the whole outlook and perspective and the way people approach the scriptures today, it's infected because it comes from the perspective of a Gnostic heresy. And of course, what is Gnosticism? Basically, in a nutshell, all things of the flesh are evil. And so thereby, anything that has to consist of the flesh, this is where people's mindsets gender to and come from. And that's the reason why you see people take certain positions. Many people don't even know why they take positions, but they take certain positions not knowing that the perspective that they're coming from is influenced by their European counterparts, who have given them this Gnosticism and have actually twisted and warped the scriptures. All right? And it's never been the same. So whenever you look at your attitude towards Jesus or your attitude towards what is biblical truth, you have to ask yourself this question right here. From who or what perspective am I coming from? That's why I teach people a straight way. If you want to know what truth is, all right, first of all, what you do is you go and read the law. The law will tell you what the truth is, and everything else is set forth from that perspective. All right. So if you know what the law says, when somebody else comes and speaks any other philosophy, any other perspective, any other theology, any other ideology, you already can tell what's wrong with them. You can discern. Sometimes we go, man, that don't sound right, because we can't get a clearance in our spirit because it's not clear speech. And that's because most people are regurgitating and rehashing the philosophy and the theology of today. So no, Christianity never has been and never will be the customs and the heritage of the ancient Hebrew Israelites or modern day Hebrew Israelites. So let's thought we'd just go ahead and speak in here a little bit about the two precedences, okay? You have a wonderful, wonderful morning. I'm going to get back to study. King coming.